Well, howdy there, folks. Welcome to Rock Hard Riffs. This is the YouTube guitar channel for the self-taught. Now, what does that mean, self-taught? Well, that's kind of obvious, but guitar channel for the self-taught? All it means is that if I ever like give a lesson or something, so-called, so to speak, quote-unquote, blah, 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 there's not going to be any theory, really, necessarily, because, you know, you don't really need it. It's cool to learn if you're into that. But do you need it? No, not really. Especially if you're just a bedroom player and just want to rock out, play some rock and roll, you're a punk type player, whatever. It's 3 chords. Come on, man, how much theory do you need? But anyway, take a look into the description of the video here, and there will be links to this and that. I've got a bunch of demos on this amp, so you can take a look. So let's get it going. This is the Orange Crush 35 RT. Now RT stands for Reverb and Tuner, and we'll go over all of that. So let's get all the specs out of the way first, okay? This has a 4-stage preamp that we'll take a look at. That's the gain knob, and you can really tell the difference in the stages. It has a 10-inch orange Voice of the World speaker. The headphone jack is supposed to be a cabinet, like a 412 cab simulator for your headphones. So does it? Does it not? I'll let you decide that. Go into your Guitar Center or wherever you go to buy these things, check them out. I would definitely go and listen to them in person. Now also that speaker needs to be broken in, so keep that in mind also. Now it also has a foot switch, which you see there, which just changes it between clean and dirty, and you hook it to the amp with a guitar cable, which is very cool. My Marshall does that too. Very handy. Love that. Somebody was really thinking with that, weren't they? Okay, and again, it has the onboard digital spring reverb. So again, that's something you want to hear in person. It sounds great. I love it. I have no problem with it. But there are, you know, certain things you want to hear in person. It has a integrated chromatic tuner, which does not cut the signal off if you turn it on. Like say, like you have a tuner on your in your pedals on your pedal board. You should have a tuner, I'm guessing, that cuts your signal, which is you want that when you're tuning your guitar, obviously. This doesn't do that, but it has a tuner on there if you need it. And it has a fully buffered effects loop, which is good. I've used the effects loop on it, and it works really, really well. The only issue I've had with it was my analog delay, and it just completely swallowed that delay. So it needs to go through the front of the amp. Usually you think that'd be backwards, but that's just how it is. So, all right, now let's go. Let's take a look at this, and let's get some measurements. I brought a tape measure here. Nothing like a physical eyeball on it, right? So that's about 17 inches across. I'd say, what, 9 or 10? 9 inches top down, or back to front. And it's about 14 inches from top to bottom. So that gives you an idea. Now let's take a look at the control panel. Okie dokie, I'm going to put a little more light on that so we can see a little better. Okay, so what we have is a headphone jack and auxiliary in for like your cell phone or iPod, or people, do they even use those anymore? Here is your digital spring reverb. Okay, now we have got this little toggle switch right here. That is your clean and dirty switch if you want to do it by hand, but that's what the foot switch is for. I would definitely recommend getting the foot switch. So here is the dirty channel. This is the volume for the dirty channel. You can also get a little hair on the clean channel as well. So now here's our treble, mid, and bass. Here is your 4-stage gain. Okay, and you can really tell. Go through this again is something that you really want to hear physically. Now, I have watched God knows how many demos on YouTube about these things, and the ones that really sounded the best to me were the ones that were not mic'd up, and that's why most of my videos, well, I have a Tascam mic that I could mic it up with, but I generally, it sounds truer to the sound you hear with your naked ear, if you want to call that, through the camera's microphone. But of course it sounds a lot better when it's mic'd up, you know. Here is the volume for the clean channel, and this is your guitar input right there. Okay. Now, also down here, this is your Chromatic tuner. All you do is just turn it on and off by that switch right there, and these things line up. Okay, and then it'll tell you right here on the OK part that your that particular string is in tune. So, nifty stuff so far, right? Now let's take a look at the back. Okay, here we are with the effects loop right here, and the foot switch. This gives you your serial number and all that fun stuff. The AC input, what type of fuse it takes, power switch, of course, and all the other necessary stuff. And again, this is a good effects loop. I would definitely recommend using it. Okay, so that's the back. And once again, that's a 10-inch orange voice of the world speaker, which does need to be broken in, so keep that in mind. But this thing just has a great look to it, doesn't it? I just love that orange look, and this thing is built like a little tank. And these are they're assembled in China, but the thing's built like a tank. I've never had really any real issues with it, except just lately I'm having problems with the volume on the clean channel. So I don't know what's going on with that. Don't tell me I have a second amp going down. Oh my gosh. But anyway, cool look to it. Love the amp. It sounds great. Again, it's solid state, all analog. Now, solid state, sometimes they just don't cut through like tube amps do. And everybody says it's all mid-range and all that, but there's more to it. I am not an expert in the field. Maybe you guys can leave some comments about why tube cuts through when through the mix, you know, through a live situation where solid state tends not to. And I had that experience with some Gallion Krugers back in the 80s. I just loved those amps, but I had to put through a 412 Marshall, and it cranked all the way, and it just would not cut through the mix. So that's something to consider. This is more of a home practice amp, but they come bigger and smaller as well. So, all right, guys, look in the description. You'll see I have plenty of stuff on here about this amp. Plenty of guitars being played through it. I have a hard rock and like a classic rock and some clean stuff, different videos. So I'll link those in the description. Please take a look. All right, thank you very much. Y'all have a great day and rock on. Whoa, 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 whoa.